Adriana, your host for Pseudo.com. We're here at the TLA in Philadelphia with Regina Spektor. She performed this evening with the Dresden Dolls. So tell me, what's the meaning behind your new album that you have coming out?
A lot of randomness songs. No meaning.
So what's the process that you go through to write your songs? Do you have a certain, or is it just by inspiration?
I work a lot, I read a lot, and just take in a lot of art, and then come home and work some more and sit up all kinds of late hours and write songs.
So you think your everyday life is your main inspiration?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Everything is game. Like anything I hear or see probably has a very high chance of ending up in a song.
So when you were recording in the studio with your producer, how did that work? Who did you work with, and how did the process happen?
Well, I ended up working with Gordon Raphael and Alan Bezzosi for this last album, Soviet Kitsch, and the way that happened was I was playing around New York City a lot, and Alan heard me and he liked it, and he was friends with Gordon, and Gordon was coming through from London, and it was around Christmas time, and he was going to Seattle to hang out with his family, and he said, oh, there's this girl, she bangs on a chair with a stick, and she plays piano with her left hand, and Gordon's like, cool, punk. So he came over and recorded it, and and then I invited them to a show of mine at Tonic, and then he came to that, and then he was like, okay, I'm gonna stay here, and we're gonna record a whole lot. And I said, okay. And then first we were gonna make an EP, and then we were gonna make it 4 songs, then we were gonna make it 6 songs, and then it turned into a record, and that's the record.
Do you have a process that you go through before a show, like a meditation, or?
I go through insanity before a show. It's not really a process, but it's like absolute mortal fear. And like any of my friends can say that like 5 minutes before a show, I'm just like, oh, someone let me go home. I want to watch a movie and like sit in bed and not do this. Why do I do this? And then I'm always happy to have done it, but it's very masochistic, I think, what I do, because it's like every time it's the same. I go crazy, and then I'm normal, and then they go crazy, and but it's worth it because the people that listen are so sweet. Like after tonight's show, there are so many sweet people, and so I'm gonna go through this craziness again tomorrow and the day after, and
And where did you just come from, your last performance?
The last show was in, I have to think. The last show was in New Haven, Connecticut, which was my first time playing there. And
So where are you headed after?
Providence, Rhode Island. Yeah, and then Portland, Maine. And then back to New York City.
So you go to Europe a lot to tour, right?
Yeah, and then I'm going to France in March, and I just came before this. I played in New York City, but then before that I played in France and England, and I'm going back to France in March, and then I'm playing a U.S. tour March and April, and then I'm going back to France end of April, and I'm probably going to go to England, and I love touring in Europe.
What's your best touring memory? Is there any memory that stands out particularly?
The last time I played in London at Bush Hall, and that is not in any sort of way related to President fucking Bush, it was amazing. It was the crowd there was like heaven sent. It was just it was a beautiful hall with really high ceilings, and the people were like held their breath, and they were giving so much love, and I don't know, it was like you could cut the air with a knife. It was so full of like love and people listening, and it was great.
And how long have you been performing? When did you start playing piano?
Well, I started playing piano when I was really little. Classical music in Moscow where I'm born, and that was at 7 years old. And then I came to America when I was 9.5, and then I got an amazing teacher, Sonia Vargas, and she taught me up to the age of 17 classical piano. And I didn't really write songs. I just like sang in the shower, and and my family made fun of me, and and then like after a long time of just like singing and people making fun of me, then one day people were like, "Oh, you have a nice voice," and I was like, "You're kidding me," and they were like, "No, really, you should sing." And so I tried singing, started writing songs around the age of 17, but they were really bad, like really bad, and then I just worked really hard, spent all my time doing it, and now I'm still doing it, trying.
What advice would you give to aspiring musicians out there who are trying to sort of make it in the music industry?
Well, that's number one. You're not supposed to try and make it in the music industry, and that is such a... Yeah, I mean, well, that stuff is really marginal. I mean, the biggest quest should always be like, can I write something that's going to make me happy, that's going to make other people happy? I mean, you're not doing it for an industry. I mean, that stuff is going to come and fall, and it's like empires, But it's just, if you really have to, I mean, don't do it if you're trying to make it. If you really have to write songs, because this is pretty insane. Like, I go crazy before every show and get really nervous and sick. Like, if you really have to do it, you do it. And then you're going to be fine. And if you don't have to do it, then don't do it, because it's a weird job to have.
What do you mean by having to do it or not having to do it?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm probably just talking a lot of crap, but it's sort of like, I don't know, for me it's like songs are a byproduct of me being here, like an earthworm eats stuff and makes a trail of earth behind them, and that's their product, their byproduct. And then I live life, and then I spit out little songs as a trail of little excretions of songs, and that's my byproduct to this world, and that's what I have to do. And so that's why I put myself through this crazy, and then I try to perform them, because I think, well, since I've create these little monsters, now it's my job to
Spread the word.
Yeah, let them live. Like, I made little baby Frankensteins, and I have to protect them from the villagers who are going to kill them.
Well, I like your little baby Frankenstein.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So you have it here, Regina Spektor, talking about everything and anything having to do with music and performing and getting nervous and writing your songs, and getting here at pseudo.com. Thank you for joining us. Is there anything that you would like to tell your fans?
Thank you. Thank you. And a huge, big thank you. I'm really, really grateful to everyone who listens, and it really makes it fun and easier, and, well, makes me really, really happy. So thank you. And just keep trying to do your thing, and don't let anybody put you down, and take care of yourselves and love yourselves, and everything's gonna be all right. And thanks for listening.